Okay, coming down to the tree gate. Any of you that have watched my videos before will be aware of the tree gate. This is the tree gate right here. It's a tree that has been struck by lightning, and the branches continued to grow horizontally, parallel with the ground. And it is a living tree, as you can see. These branches that have come out of the stump that was struck have grown horizontally, parallel with the ground. And then there are lots of additional fall downs, knockdowns, depending on what you believe. Here's another tree here that is still living, that has been knocked horizontally. Anyway, all these trees together, including the dense brush, create a really effective barrier to the four-wheelers that the hunters that hunt in these woods use to ride around in the woods back here. There's a little creek right here that comes out of a pond up here too, that blocks off the other end of this little valley right here. And on either side of this valley are farm fields, and the borders bordering the woods bordering the farm fields are just thick, dense brush and briars. So effectively, the four-wheelers there's no access point for the four-wheelers back in here. And beyond this gate, there are these huge structures that are composed of limbs and naturally growing vines and vegetation, but they take the shape of huts, and down underneath the huts it's hollowed out. I haven't been up here since all the leaves came back out really thick. I came back here several times earlier this year, earlier in the spring and in the winter, when it was all the leaves were falling off the trees. But anyway, as you can see, there are just tree bends everywhere right here. These trees are just bent over all around this this tree fall down. You got breaks, typical breaks that you look for. We have another tree right here, another living, well, it was a living tree. I don't know if it's still living or not. But anyway, this tree right here has been broken off and adds into this barrier created by what I call the tree gate. This tree here with the horizontally growing branches. I don't know how many of you realize how exceptional this is, but when a tree gets struck by lightning, to continue to grow is not that huge of a deal. But what is a huge deal is branches that grow off of this tree, all in the same direction, pointing in the same direction, horizontally with the ground. Anybody knows anything about plants knows that a plant will try to grow up toward the sunlight. Now they will bend and twist, to get into clear areas to reach sunlight, but the overall direction of growth is up, not horizontally. So what can cause a tree to grow horizontally like this? And then you add on top of that the fact that it's just such a convenient barrier to an area that just I believe is without a doubt a nesting area. And this is pretty exceptional. It's pretty unusual. Anyway, I'm going to be back here today looking around, and I won't video the whole time so that you're watching shaky video. And unfortunately, I don't have a way to pause these things to continue with the same video. I have to every time I shut it off, it creates a separate video. So you have to look at several different videos as I upload them to get the whole picture of what I've done today. I'm going to walk back in here a little bit and just look around, because I haven't been back there since well, last time I walked way back in there was actually in like January or February. So I haven't been back here at all since it turned green. And I just want to see what these nesting areas look like now. I try not to do this often. I don't like to intrude on these guys because, you know, it's obvious to me anyway that they don't want, you know, people back in this area. You know, they kind of block this off that this is our area. But I think these guys are pretty used to me coming around, and I brought me some nice little sweet treats for them. I always leave treats whenever I go into an area that I feel like, actually I leave them everywhere, but especially when I'm getting into areas where I see lots of tree bends where they're marking, you know, this is ours, you know, with the tree bends and tree breaks and you know, stuff like that. You know, I'm always sure to leave treats there for them, you know, just as my way of saying thank you, you know, and I respect you and thank you for letting me come into your area. But I try not to overdo it. You know, I know a lot of the areas where they nest, and I try to walk around them as a general rule and just video from the edges of them and not walk right up through the middle of them all the time. You know, I don't want these guys, you know, how would you feel if somebody was, you know, stranger walking, just come up and walk through your house all the time, you know? So, you know, I try to treat them the same way. I try to give them respect. And, you know, I want these guys and me to have a good relationship, you know, on trust, and not for them to feel like I'm a hunter. I see too many people going out videoing, and they crash through the woods and they stalk these guys like a hunter, and you know, it pays in the results they get on video. You know, if you treat these guys like friends and, like, you know, give them respect, and don't treat them like a quarry that you're out there stalking, you know, I just think you're going to get better results. You're for sure going to have more respect from these guys than if you're walking out there confusing them, you know, using the same tactics a hunter uses to go through the woods. And that's going to be kind of something that makes them kind of suspicious of you. Anyway, I'll give you one good more look around here. You can just see how thick and dense this is. I'm actually in a little clearing, you know, right here by this tree gate. But you just walk off 50 feet in any direction, and it is just thick, 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 thick. There are some trails through this, and areas you can walk. But even though this area is not very wide, I mean, this whole little patch of woods right here between the fields on the left and right, and the pond that's up that way, and this gate, you know, you're talking about an area that's, you know, 300 feet wide and maybe 1,000 feet from here to the pond. So it's not a huge area. But what I've learned is that, you know, these guys are all around us all the time, and you don't have to be way out in the middle of the wilderness in some national park, you know, miles and miles off of you know, roads and trails to find these guys. In fact, some of my best videos are shot sitting up on my front porch videoing the woods across the street from my house. And, you know, it's just, I've got so many pictures of them from doing that. There's just no doubt that they live in those little woods. You know, I don't think they stay there all the time, but they definitely hang around those woods, you know, right there by my house. And there's about two or three other little houses right beside mine. So they're right here next to us, often in many instances. All right, I'm gonna walk back here, going back this way, and I will stop and video occasionally, and try to post those videos up too.